With losses. Why am I talking about losses? This is There was someone that wrote me when I was talking about people coming back and all that, and I got two notes, and I just wanted to share so it doesn't look like I'm absent or I don't care. And I'm going to talk about dealing with losses, grief of a lost one. When loss hits harder than expected, dealing with regret after losing a loved one, okay? And when the people you loved are gone, the hidden weight, grief, regrets, and healing. I hope I don't depress you, but I need to say this, okay? This is from Mr. Jonathan from Ontario, who reached out to me saying he hasn't been able to move since the passing of his wife. They met in his first year in university over 35 years ago. And this from Mr. Aduke as well, who from Manchester, who lost her only daughter, just 23 years old, and said the silence in the house now feels like heavier than noise. This is for everyone who's ever loved and lost a parent. You've lost a parent, a child, a friend, a partner, or even someone you never got the chance to say goodbye to. You know, I know how I feel because why am I saying this? I lost my mother about 12 months ago. You know, I was indifferent when people tell me they lost people. You know, I just say, oh, sorry, I sent the test. Because I've never lost. It was a small family. I had my mom, my father, and my siblings. And for some reason, God has blessed me for the past 50 years, 50 something years. We've all been intact. So my mother's passing 12 months ago is the first time somebody is missing from that list. And we had we had a 1 year anniversary last week. And it hasn't been easy. I now realize that grief is not just about death, you know, it's about the regrets, the what ifs, and the unfinished conversation we never had. Okay. When my mom passed, you know, what hurt me wasn't just that I wouldn't see her again. It was the promise I didn't fulfill. You know, I wanted to take her to Jerusalem. I promised her. I wanted to buy her a better car. I didn't like the car she was using. I wanted her to come and spend some time in my house, but my kids were growing fast. But she always used to tell me she never liked sleeping outside. Her bed knows her body, you know. And I didn't push it. Now I wish that I would have, you know. Just when I'll give anything to have her come and spend the night in my house. So I understand, Mr. Jonathan, Mrs. Aduke, you know how you feel. Now, and to someone watching this, okay, some people have never met their mother, they didn't meet their parents, or they lost them when they were very young. You know, it's some cannot even recall their father's hug. You know, some lost friends that they had not spoken to in a long time. Some lost sisters or whatever that they spoke a night before. Some of you buried some siblings that you thought they would leave you, younger ones. I'm just trying to use this. You've carried unimaginable pain of burying a child. You know, the grief comes in many shapes, but it wears the same face. The silence, the heavy silence that follows, you know, and you're left with memories. That's one of the things. Now, the deeper truth about grief that I think personally, I don't know much from my experience, okay? Nobody really teaches us how to grieve a lost one. Nobody teaches you. People will say be strong, but strength is not the same as healing. I was told to be strong. They tell you time heals, yeah, but time doesn't heal. But it only teaches us how to carry the pain, really. I think of my mom every day in the past 1 year. Every day. You know? And sometimes I think it just teaches us to grow around it, you know, and we miss that person. We don't just miss the person, we miss the version of the person we are when we're around that person. Okay? So Mr. Jonathan, Mr. Aduke, grief actually has a twin. And the twin to grief is actually regret. Most times. When we lose people, you don't just mourn the person, you mourn every word you didn't say to them. You mourn every I love you postponed. Like my friend, when I was asking him what does he miss most about his wife, he said, you know, he didn't tell her he loved her enough. He was busy on statewide travels. He didn't spend time with her. He didn't kiss her enough. He didn't make love to her enough. He didn't tell her how beautiful she was enough. That was his feel. And grief is. But I now found out that those regrets is actually part of love, really. If you look at it, regret is actually part of love. Let me explain. You only regret deeply when you loved deeply. If you didn't care, you don't care. That person died, you don't even think about it twice. But when you're full of regrets, I wish I did this. I wish I told her I loved her. I wish I supported my dad more. I wish I cared for my baby for the time she was here. I wish I was in the hospital more with them. It means you really cared about that person. Think about that. And let me remind you how capable. It reminds you of how capable you were of loving them. So there's no particular way, my brothers and sisters, to love. To grieve. My brother didn't show up for the burial. My sister stayed indoors for about 3 months. She resigned. I told her they were going to sack her. She said, "I don't care." My father cried every day, and it was worse last week. So my siblings that were not there felt if they were there, maybe my mom wouldn't have died. They blamed themselves. So how do you mourn, and how do you mourn your loved ones? This is for everybody there. I did this for Mr. Jonathan and Aduke, and all the people that have lost people. Some didn't see their parents. Some were very young to recollect what their parents. And at those quiet moments, talk to yourself, pray about it, write a letter to them, write a note at your private time. Mourn in whatever way that you think you can. Or understand something, that the fact that you feel there's a regret means you deeply love that person. Have a beautiful day. For you who is going through pain of loss of somebody dear to you, stay strong. And I want you to understand, there is no particular way to mourn. Mourn whichever way suits you, that will suit your heart. Have a blessed day. My name is Sam.